Welcome, everyone. Dr. Romeo will be joining us in 3 minutes. Yeah, both lives are set.
I want to see how this live. I gotta raise this up, right?
You understand? Okay.
Oh yeah. Hello. Let's see. Oh, I gotta pull this back. You know what? Let me get this out of the way.
Yeah. Come take it.
You want to go over there?
No, I can.
I don't want to knock anything out. Yeah, let's get this tilted a little more. That good?
Yeah, they're good.
The light is better. Hello. Hello, everyone. Ooh, what time is it?
1 minute.
1 minute. Good. All right, I got a minute. I figured I'd stand up so you guys can get some of my energy today. Let's see. Anybody in there? Let's see. Okay. Hey, while you guys are here, before we get started, do you have any questions at all? If you have any questions, you can bring them up. I can answer them while we wait to let people in. Tonight, I'm going to do a little highlighting. I'm going to highlight on diabetes as it relates to your total body reset. You know, as we get older, people think diabetes is just normal, especially in our community. Maybe I need to wait because I feel like I'm getting ready to start right now. But it is. But I can say it to you and say it again later. We think it's normal. As a matter of fact, we think high blood pressure and diabetes is normal in our community. Because you ask people, I remember asking people on a job, do you have any health challenges? Well, what's your medical history? They said, oh, I'm fine. And I said, you're not taking any medications or anything? And they're like, oh, yeah, well, I take some medications for my sugar and I take some medication for my pressure. But it's like it's normal. So they don't even think it's a health challenge because it's like a family history thing, which is totally ridiculous. It's like we buy into it. And I mean, think about it. You may have said it to yourself and to others in the family, like, oh, it runs in the family. Okay, wait a minute. We're going to have to back up on that. What runs in the family? So right now, remember last night I talked about how your cells are constantly eavesdropping on your internal dialogue, your external speech. And now you're telling me that it runs in the family. So think about it. That language of so-called running in the family is letting your cells know, well, you can kind of expect this because it runs in the family. This is something you're going to have to tolerate because it runs in the family. This is something that we have to deal with because it runs in the family. This is something that we just have to accept because it runs in the family. I hope you're hearing what I'm saying. Because you may not even get it, but your cells get it. But your cells can't distinguish between what you're just languaging and passing or what you're languaging intentionally. Because as far as your cells are concerned, everything you language, everything you think is literally intentional, purposeful, and deliberate. And you may not take it as such, but it definitely is. And I know in the Bible you hear death and life is in the power of the tongue. What is that? Proverbs 18:21. Well, you know what? You know what Proverbs 18:20 says? It says that a man's belly shall be satisfied by the fruit of his mouth. What's the fruit of your mouth? It's words. That's the fruit of your mouth. So it says a man's belly shall be satisfied by the fruit of his mouth, and with the increase of his lips shall he be filled. Well, what do your lips increase with? Still words. Whatever your lips increase with, you'll be filled. And then it says death and life is in the power of the tongue. This thing. And they that love it, love what? The tongue shall eat the fruit thereof. You're eating the fruit of the tongue. So think about it. Mouth, lips, tongue. What are you languaging? Repeatedly, habitually, consistently, and daily. I guarantee you, if you look at it, you'll see it showing up in your life. So you think like, oh, I have diabetes. My family had it. My father had it. My mother had it. My uncle had it. My brother and sister has it. I mean, if you guys know my story, then I don't know, maybe you do, maybe you don't. But I grew up in Watts. I had 6 sisters and 5 brothers. I'm number 10 of 12 kids. And anyway, I grew up drinking sugar water. Some of you may have heard, I would come back from 92nd Elementary, fill up my mayonnaise jar with tap water, pour in sugar, stir it up and drink it. Then I drink an extra glass of water to fill up and go back to school. And the one good thing is that we were active as children. You know, we played till the street light came on. So we're always constantly engaged in some physical activity, which by and large, I'm sure burned off the sugar. But anyway, eating like that, long story short, you know, I got on the fire department at 23 years old. And so my father died that year, high blood pressure, diabetes, and emphysema. He was so-called secret smoker. But 2 years later, my mother died, high blood pressure, diabetes, lupus, kidney failure, and a blocked ileocecal valve, or a blocked intestine. But then my oldest brother, Willie, had his legs amputated. He had high blood pressure, diabetes, kidney failure on dialysis, and died. But then my sister Laura had high blood pressure, diabetes, dialysis with kidney failure, and died. And then my brother Doug had 2 strokes, 2 bleeders, high blood pressure, diabetes, dialysis, kidney failure, and died. Then my brother Michael, he was 13 months above me. We were 13 months apart. Well, let's just say he was born in March and I was born in May the following year. So yeah, that's 13 months. So something like that, 12, 14. So anyway, then my youngest brother Stephen, number 12 in the family, had high blood pressure, diabetes, heart disease, stroke, kidney failure on dialysis, and died. Now, if anybody looking from the outside, you would say that runs in the family. Well, no, I tell people, no, don't let it run in the family. Run it out of the family. See, what runs in the family is the same diet. By and large, that's what it is. The family eats the same thing. You know, too much sugar. I'm drinking sugar water, sugar syrup. You guys remember the days? We had sugar. We made Kool-Aid. Really, it was sugar aid. It was just red sugar water. And we put in maybe that much in a big pickle jar. And then we stirred it up to put it in suspension to get in the water and then poured it in a glass before the sugar could settle to the bottom. What does that tell you? But, you know, again, we played on the streets, football, baseball, tag, chasing, whatever else, till the street lights came on. So again, we metabolized that sugar. We burned it off. We utilized it. That's the big thing. But then now, if you think about it, and you may have done the same or had family members do the same, but now you've gotten older and you've done this repeatedly, habitually, consistently, and daily. And now you're 30 years old, you're 40 years old, you're 50 years old, and maybe even older, maybe 60 and 70 years old. And so you get diagnosed. And sometimes now in the 30s, or even earlier now, you get diagnosed with diabetes. So what is that? You know, think of the symptoms of diabetes. When you eat sugar or carbs or starches or whatever food, it spikes the blood sugar. The blood sugar goes up. When the blood sugar goes up, it signals the pancreas to produce insulin. Now, insulin is the hormone that moves the sugar out of the blood into the cells so that you can have energy to live and move and do whatever you do. Well, if your body doesn't produce enough insulin, you know what I mean? There's a lack of sugar in the cells. Now you get tired. So what does your body do? When the blood sugar stays high, well, the body says we have to carry off this excess sugar. So how does it do it? It uses water as a vehicle to urinate off the excess sugar. So you have frequent urination. But think about it. Because it's carrying off this excess sugar causing frequent urination, well, the frequent urination causes dehydration or constant thirst. So now you have constant thirst and frequent urination. But along with the frequent urination, you don't only get rid of sugar, you get rid of vitamins and minerals. So now you're not only thirsty, now you're ravenous. So now you're eating, you're drinking, you're pissing, and you still don't have energy. And then you go to the doctor, and then sometimes there's a sudden weight loss. And now you go to the doctor, and you've been diagnosed with diabetes. And I tell you, 32 years on the fire department, I've seen it over and over and over again. And sometimes you can see even the external signs, if you will. If you remember when I described signs and symptoms, A sign is something that you can see, like a stop sign. So when you're looking at a person or a patient, I will go in. As soon as I walk through the door, I'm looking at their face, their eyes, their breathing, their mentation, their posturing. Then I'll put my hands on them. I want to see if they're hot, if they're cold, if they're clammy. So I'm trying to make an assessment. And I've been doing that for 32 years on the fire department, and now 13 years in retirement. But anyway, I go in, and sometimes you can see. I know some of you guys, you've seen black people with the black shading on their cheeks and look like they need to clean their necks, the black shading around the neck. It's called acanthosis nigricans. And that's a sign of insulin resistance. And I'm sure you guys seen it because it's so prevalent. I've just seen it my whole life. And so I remember contending with a guy that came into the store and I said, "Oh, you have diabetes?" He's like, no, I don't have diabetes. I'm like, "Oh, yeah, you have diabetes." He's like, no, I don't. And I'm just kind of talking to him. I said, "Well, I was on the fire department, for years, and I've seen this over and over and over again. You definitely have diabetes." And he says, "Well, a year ago, they said I had borderline diabetes." I said, "Well, you crossed the border over a year ago." But of course, he didn't know it. But I'm telling him that he did. But you can see the symptoms of diabetes. So now think about it. Frequent urination, right? And so you're losing the carrying off that excess sugar, which causes constant thirst. But now with the constant thirst, you're carrying off vitamins and minerals. And so now that makes you ravenous. So like I said, now you're eating, you're drinking, you're urinating, and you still don't have energy. So now what they want to do is give you insulin. Now let me just say this. Whenever you take something, this is a saying that I have. If you take it, your body won't make it. If you take insulin, your pancreas won't produce insulin. If you take steroids, your adrenal glands won't produce steroids. You think about it. If somebody came into your house to clean up, to cook, and you were getting ready to do something to cook, and they said, "Oh, no, I got it." So they cook for you. You get ready to clean up. "No, I got it." Okay, you're getting ready to do dishes. "Oh, no, I got it." Or you're going to make a bed. "Oh, no, I got it." Well, you're going to get lazier and lazier. And that's exactly how it works in the body. And so my thing is, again, you came out of the earth, you have to remain in the earth and partake of the earth in order to live. Now, let me say this. There is a type 1 diabetes. That's type 2, what I was explaining earlier. But type 1 is what they call an autoimmune disease, when you're just born and your body's just not producing enough insulin. And so they take insulin and inject it into the body. And so now that carries the sugar into the cells so you can have energy. But here's this thing now. We talked about it yesterday. Sugar, nobody says sugar is bad. And somehow over the years, we've thrown fruit sugar in with regular sugar and all of this other stuff. It's like, "Oh, don't eat too much fruit," and this and that. Can you imagine when you were a kid and you raided the neighbor's tree for an apple or an orange or a peach or a plum, somebody running up to you and saying, "Don't eat that fruit. There's too much sugar in it." I don't know how we've gone so far. We've just gone awry in this culture because no, sugar is bad. Anybody knows me, I'll tell you, sugar is the devil because it just wears you out. It is. It's addictive. It's like crack. No, it honestly is. But don't put fruit in with that. No, I've eaten fruit. As a matter of fact, I had grapes for 2 weeks in a row. Just loved it. It felt like $1,000,000. Dark grapes. I just had them. Organic dark grapes. I just felt like I can do anything. But I've done so much fruit and running. What we don't do is we don't metabolize our food. We eat this food, we eat this fuel, and we don't burn it off. That's what I mean by metabolism. Metabolism just means change. It's like changing fuel to energy because we are an energy system. But we produce energy through digestion. So what we're supposed to do is create heat and energy and then dump the waste. But if the waste is not eliminated, it's accumulated. And now if the waste accumulates in the pancreas, in this case the diabetes, even in the adrenal glands, and most people don't know, or maybe most doctors don't even know, the adrenal glands assist in sugar metabolism. And I can tell you this, if you have more muscle to utilize that sugar, you wouldn't even have that. In other words, you'll see most diabetics are overweight, but you can have slim diabetics. But usually they're flaccid. They have these flaccid muscles or these unused muscles. Well, think about it. If you have more furnaces, or like we told, more mitochondria, if you have more energy producing cells, or let's think of it in terms of furnaces. If you have more furnaces and you think of sugar as the coal that you're throwing into this furnace, well, if you have more furnaces, you see how you can burn off more sugar. And as this comes into the body, you pour it into the furnace, dump it in, and it burns it off. Dump it in and it burns it off. So, Tip, I'll give the analogy of like, okay, we're all going to get on the bus together and we're going to drive to San Diego tonight. So we fill up the gas tank. We top it off because we're going all the way to San Diego. So we get on the freeway, and we take off, and then it's just after 5 o'clock. It's, oh my gosh, the freeway is crowded. So let's get off, go back to the gas station, and start pumping in some more fuel. So what's going to happen? It's going to spill over into the ground. And now you're going to have excess fuel because you didn't utilize the fuel. If you had gone to San Diego, you can afford to put more fuel in. But because we didn't utilize the fuel, it spills over. So when we eat food and don't metabolize it, particularly these carbs and starches, we don't burn it off or change it to fuel, it spills over into the body as adipose tissue, as fat. So when you have fat, you literally just have extra fuel. And by and large, with this extra fuel in the form of fat, your muscles have shrank. So now you have less furnaces. And having less furnaces and all of this fuel, now you have all kinds of problems going on. Now remember, I told you about diabetes yesterday. If you didn't hear me, I'm going to explain it again. Diabetes is the number one cause of death in the United States is heart disease. Number 2 is cancer, close number 2. But I was telling people yesterday, I think it was yesterday, the day before, that last week, diabetes is the number one cause of heart disease. It's the number one cause of cancer. It's the number one cause of stroke. It's the number one cause of blindness. It's the number one cause of kidney failure. It's the number one cause of amputation. It's the number one cause of metabolic syndrome. It's the number one cause of lupus. It's the number one cause of neurodegenerative problems. It's the number one cause of so-called autoimmune diseases. This is what I say about autoimmune. This is just a little tip. When they say the body's attacking itself, I think that's when the medical field can't understand what something is, they put it in an autoimmune box. So they say it's the body attacking itself. I wrote a book called Body Intelligence. I just don't buy into it. I think the body has too much intelligence to attack itself. But now the body may seem or appear to have gone awry, but it's because of all of the stuff we're doing, because of what we're eating, what we're drinking, what we're breathing in, what we're putting on the skin, what we think, feel, and believe. It all has a factor. The environmental factor is where we are, but by and large, it's what we call in the body, it's your internal environment, and it's called the biological terrain. So the terrain and the environment is causing all of these challenges in the body. When we can clean up the terrain, we would change things immediately. And I gave the example of taking a polar bear from Alaska, which is his environment, the environment that he lives and thrives in, taking a polar bear from Alaska to Las Vegas. Now he's in the desert. It can be 112 degrees. And you give him the salmon and everything that he normally loves or whatever, and give him water even. You tell me, is he going to survive in that environment? No. So when you make the environment alive, when you make it alkaline, like I always say, you came out of the earth, you have to remain in the earth and partake of the earth in order to live. It's going to change the game. And last night I even said a diabetic, a type 2 diabetic for sure, and in case of the type 1 diabetic, you can take fruit. Yeah, go on a fruit diet. Sounds weird. Grapes, fruit, peaches, plums, and that sugar will spike for 2 or 3 days. But after 2 or 3 days, the blood sugar is going to drop down because the fruit sugar can go into the cells without the use of insulin. I know that can be controversial. I'm just telling you. This is all for educational purposes only. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm just telling you what I know. I'm telling you what I experienced. You can call it anecdotal. You can call it whatever you want. But this is for your education. This is for your health. My thing is you can live in your latter years with power, with strength, with vigor, with vitality. Your sexuality can be still strong. Lack of circulation, or let's say this, in this case, sugar. So much sugar in the blood causes, remember last night I was saying how it thickens the blood? Just like when I used to make sugar syrup, when we run out of Karo syrup, we pour water in a pan, we pour in sugar, and we stir it up, and it would get thicker and thicker. Well, sugar in the blood, with a temperature of 98.6, it makes the blood thicker and thicker. And how can the heart pump thick, syrupy, honey-like blood through the system? And that's why, if you remember in Soul Food, Big Mama was burning her arm and had diabetic neuropathy because it just scraped away the insulation on the nerves. Couldn't feel it, in the hospital, died. Big Mama's getting her leg amputated. Why? because she cannot perfuse or get blood to the further parts of her legs, so they cut it off where the circulation stops. And then Big Mama dies, and they don't tell why. And by and large, I can tell you it's because of a blood clot in her lung, in her leg, in her brain, wherever it is. Because again, the blood is so thick, now you got clots all over the place. But they don't tell you. But the thing that always got me is at the end of the movie, everyone is gathered around the table eating the food that killed Big Mama in the first place. I mean, literally, when the movie came out, I said, we do not see the disconnect. We're like, Hercules, Hercules, yes, yes. Family times is great. Family getting together is great. I was with my family on Thanksgiving. That's great. That's beautiful. And if you did that every now and then, that would be beautiful. But you know, they were doing it every Sunday. That was a routine. You know how we have those traditions. And so imagine doing that, and then you do whatever you do. Now you eat junk food and processed foods and refined foods throughout the week, and then you're having all of this on Sunday. I'm telling you, it's devastating. And we're doing it. We're doing it. Fuel is everything. But you know what? I want to say this. You can get away with so much if you exercise vigorously, if you burn this stuff out, if you created more furnaces, if you will. Remember I was saying when I talked about how aging is, the medical field said there was a decline in mitochondrial function or a decline in the energy producing cells in the body. Well, if aging is a decline in the energy producing cells in the body, wouldn't that tell you, okay, let's increase the energy producing cells? Since they're declining, let's raise them up. Since they're being downgraded, let's upgrade them. And let's make some more energy producing cells. So let's put on some more muscle. Let's put on some more energy. Let's put on some more mitochondria. I mean, because it's everywhere in the cell. That's how we live. We live off of energy. An abundance of energy is an abundance of health. Sickness and disease, as I explained it, is an energy crisis. And the total absence of energy, we call it death. Everyone calls it death. There is no energy. And so the body's always trying to regulate itself. It's always trying to regulate the energy. And 25% is always going to your brain. But now we eat food that actually takes more energy to digest than it gives back to us. Now, we all know what itis is, what the itis is. We probably went through it on Thanksgiving, probably going to go through it on Christmas Day, probably going to go through it again on New Year's Eve. Well, I'm here to do something different. New Year's Day, Monday, I want to start this total body reset so I can revamp all of that on a cellular level. I want to clean up the cells, make more mitochondria, make more cells that produce energy, make more furnaces. So whenever we eat something, clean it up, exercise, I'm telling you, be able to run with vigor, do everything that you did as a kid. Now, I can do anything I did at 23. And it's not bragging or anything. It's just that, again, I gave the analogy last night of money in the bank. If you wanted to have $3 million in your retirement, you know you can't wait to retire. You have to start doing things while you're on the job, while you're still working, while you're still young, if you will, and start building up your reserves so that you can have this $3 million in retirement. Well, if you want to be, I'm getting ready to say ambulatory, if you want to be able to live and move and be vigorous and vital in your older adulthood, if you will, you have to do things now in order to have that reserve to do it. Because it's not going to magically happen. But what we buy into is what the culture says. Oh, I'm getting older, so I expect some aches and pains. Oh, I'm getting older, so I expect to wear glasses. I'm getting nearsighted. I'm getting farsighted. Oh, I expect to have more joint problems. I expect to have less hearing. I expect to have weak muscles and tissues and cells. I expect not to get around as vigorously. And the thing is, we live in our expectations. I said it again, whatever you pay attention to comes to live in you as your thought life. And it's worked out in your destiny and in your life because you're expecting it and you're paying attention to it. Because the culture gives us information. And I know, and the information is so accessible because now we have Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and TV. We have 1,000 channels. You know, some of you that are listening, remember when you had, what was it, 9 channels? What, 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, it's like 7 and 13. That was it. But now we got distractions, and we can call them distractions, but really they're robbers. They're energy robbers. They're giving you information that doesn't give you health. You have to pay attention to health if you want health. Think of it like this. If your language or your thinking is based in sickness and disease, you're going to live in a live in a life of disease. It's just like you think about it. If your language or your thoughts are poverty based, you're going to live in a world of lack. It's just the way the mind works. Like if your language is confused or language is based in confusion, you're going to live a life of ill peace. It's what you're languaging, it's what you're thinking, it's what you're paying attention to, it's what you're buying into. And we're bombarded by so many things. And it's like, you know how you can look up something online and you can look up something similar to it, and all of a sudden they create this algorithm, and then they start sending you information on that's related to that. Well, there's an algorithm in life, and we're creating that. When we do something repeatedly, habitually, consistently, and daily, it's like life is bringing this algorithm, and so we start paying attention to more of it. Oh, I'm getting sick. I expect to get sick. Oh, I got a little pressure, blood pressure. Then it's like, you know what? I guess a little later I might have diabetes. And you get diabetes. Okay, now I have a heart problem. Okay, now, I got this cancer in my lung. Well, I am getting lung. Oh my gosh. I hope you guys can get what I'm saying. This is not good. You have to shift your mind. That's why when I talk about total body reset, I'm talking about resetting your body, resetting your mind, resetting your emotion, resetting your spirit, resetting your attention. You need to pay attention to health. Health. What are you going to do on the planet without your health? Why did you come into time and space when you did? How come you weren't born 1,000 years ago or 1,000 years from now? Why are you here on the planet right now in the 21st century? Here, right here today. Why are you here? You need your health to do what you came into time and space to do. And diabetes and high blood pressure, and by and large, diabetes and high blood pressure is the number one cause of this kidney failure that we see everywhere. That's why these DaVita places are popping up all over the place. I was just in Chicago. They're there in Chicago. I was thinking it was an LA thing. I don't know why. Of course not. Because diabetes and kidney failure is everywhere. But that's the cause of it. And so the kidneys, think about it. If you have all of this sugar in your blood and your heart is pumping blood through the kidneys 400 times a day to filter it out, well, think about it. Think of sugar as caustic, as abrasive, as it's acid, it's acidic. You know how acid burns? Sugar is the most acidic thing that you can consume. So what if I had some sticky paper, like fly paper, and put sugar all over it? Well, now that's like sandpaper. You see what I mean? So now imagine sugar flowing through your blood, and whatever it touches, it's cutting into, it's destroying. It's an over-acidification of the body. And that's what's going on. So if it scrapes away the nerves, now you got diabetic neuropathy. If it scrapes away in the retina of the eye, you have diabetic retinopathy. And it scrapes away at the nephrons and the kidneys, now you have diabetic nephropathy. I mean, it's just all of this stuff is just affecting everything in the body. And if those of you that are listening to me that have it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And the way you got it, because you walked this way and you started having more blood sugar high and less insulin being produced or insulin resistance. And all you have to do is repent, if you will, do an about face. Start walking back in the other direction. I mean, if you're standing in front of the heater, most people don't realize when on the fire department, heat comes out in a straight line. It doesn't go around. Like if you have a shield, it doesn't go around the shield. It comes at you straight. So remember in the house, if you had a wall heater, if somebody stood in front of it, they can literally block the heat and you get cold. You say, get out of the way of the heater. Well, so imagine if you're lined up with the sun or with the heater, and now you walk further and further away, well, you're going to get colder and colder. So if you're going on a path that's taking you to some kind of dis-ease, and in this case, diabetes, how about doing the opposite? Turn around and do the opposite. Get in more live fruits and vegetables and salads. That's my whole thing. That's how I'm going to tell you to eat during the reset, but we're going to be working it out. So we're going to be more efficient in our fuel and even to a greater degree, more efficient in our exercise. But it's going to be short. It's going to be quick. It's going to be 10 minutes. 3 songs in your favorite playlist and it's over. But we're going to take that 10 minutes and gradually escalate it to take you where you need to be. Because if we take care of the cells, we'll take care of all the cells and tissues and organs in the body. But that's how diabetes, and think about it. Why does diabetes by and large occur when you get older? It's because you've been in the earth allowing to your body to just break down from all the sugars and starches that you used to eat. And I remember being in middle school, those honey buns, I ate them every day, literally every day. And if I had enough money, because we didn't have much money, I would get the cheese toast and put the honey bun inside of the cheese toast, put it in, and then eat that. But remember, it's cheese toast, so it's bread, it's carbs. The honey bun is carbs with sugar glazed all over it. And so I'm just eating up. But you know what? We danced, we ran, we exercised, we did all of that. But what do we do now with children? Now, let me say this. Remember, it used to be called juvenile diabetes, and then it was called adult onset diabetes, because it took years and years and years into adulthood to get what we call adult onset diabetes. That's why, that's what the name is for. Now it's called type 1 and type 2. Why? Because children can get type 2. They don't have to become adults in order to get it now. And see, that's the problem. And so think about it. When we were young, we ran, we worked out, we had PE. It was mandatory. We had to get in your gym clothes, and you had to go sometimes run a mile, play soccer or baseball, do whatever. You had to have this physical activity. It was demanded. You got graded on it. It was something you had to do. But then you know what comes up? Smart. This is supposed to be smart. No child left behind. Because we don't want a child to be left behind. We want to get their grades up and get them up to where they need to be. We take out PE. We take out PE because we want to use that period that was normally used for PE so the child can catch up and not be left behind. You tell me what that did. It made us lazier, made us fatter, made us have more adipose tissue, made us slow down blood flow, lymph flow, nerve flow, the trinity of the cells, made everything worse. We're sicker and more obese than ever. And my thing is, yes, this is to everybody, but particularly the Black people, because we only represent really probably 14% of the country. And I know it appears to be more of us because we live around each other. But we leave the entire country in high blood pressure, diabetes, heart disease, stroke, cancer, obesity, kidney failure, fibroid tumors, endometriosis, ovarian cysts, fibrocystic breast, respiratory problems, you name it. I don't care, name it. We leave the country in it. And my contention is, what is causing this? Because I'm thinking we're the most agile, the most athletic, the most spiritual people on the planet, but we're the shortest living. So I ask the question, is it diet? Is it racial tension? Is it socioeconomic? Is it our view map of the world? Is it lack of exercise? Is it a combination of all of those things? What is going on? And the thing is, I'm telling you, we can turn this thing around. That's why I'm here, you guys. I'm here to turn this thing around. Do you have any questions? Let's see. Somebody said, I know the sugar was so addicting. Well, yes, it is. Think of everybody just had Thanksgiving. Can you guys do a wave or something? Raise your hand. Did you guys have some kind of sugar? I don't know, peach cobbler, sweet potato pie with whipped cream, some pecan pie. I don't know. Confess. It's cool. Hey, look, I had some sweet potato pie. I did. But I chase my stuff out the next day and then go burn it off. You know what? You have to compensate for what you're taking on. But you can't have that stuff every day. Some people eat sugar and stuff every day. Some people have peppermint on their desk. Just go in and grab a handful and they don't think anything about it. And then they get older and say, oh, yeah, I know. I love that. Thank you for the confession. I love that. That's good. That's because we want to turn it around. We have to acknowledge the problem before we can try to remedy the problem. And that's the thing. And it's your body telling you. Your body is spoken to you years ago. And that's why I language sickness and disease as simply the body making a request based upon its needs. And if you cultivate a relationship with your body, and you really want to do that because it's always making a request 24/7. Immediately if you're too hot or too cold, if you have to urinate or defecate, if you're thirsty or not, if you're hungry or not. Those are all symptoms, but everything else is symptoms. Now you guys are symptom. Now, when you guys eat, when you eat food, what does it do? Immediately. Does it give you a drop in energy? Or does it lift you up? Now, a lot of times you'll eat a burger or something and you get stimulated immediately because you might be hungry and you eat it and you feel stimulated. Well, You haven't broken that burger down. It hasn't been digested and now taken into the cells. You know it couldn't have done that fast. But see, you're stimulated from it, but you feel better and you don't feel hungry, but it's not because the burger has been broken down and gone into the cells. Now, fruit will lift you immediately. But most of it is because of where we are, because we have flaccid muscles, we don't have much mitochondria. In other words, we don't have enough of the energy producing cells. So now we eat sugar, we feel good immediately. Bam, the body produces insulin, moves that sugar out of the blood, takes it away, blood sugar drops off, we go into the itis. And we do it over and over and over and over again. You know what the number one thing is people ask for? What they want? Energy. Because energy is everything. I'm glad you're not a big sugar guy. Hey, Joseph. Yeah, but it's energy. And again, what produces energy? The body takes fuel, takes the heat and energy. This is metabolism. Changes that fuel to energy, ATP, adenosine triphosphate. You got the energy, and now you can go. And sometimes you need the energy to come in slow. You know, that's why sometimes I'll mix fat with sugar. What I mean by fat is like avocado. You know, I'll take that in and put it in, and that'll slow down the sugar uptake. But I always eat the fruit first, and then of course, you know, I'll have a salad before lunch and dinner, and I'll put fat in it. I'll put avocado in it because the fat gives you that long burning fuel. But if you need it right now, immediately, I remember I was eating all raw for 30 days, and I was on the fire department, and so it was the Department of Health Services fire downtown LA, and I don't know how many 30 stories or whatever. Anyway, we had a fire way up. I mean, I had my turnout coat on, turnout boots, helmet, breathing apparatus, a rotary saw, extinguisher. I don't know, I'm probably 250 pounds. And I got to go up 25 flights of stairs. And I'm eating all raw. I get to the top. Then we get to the top. Now you start fighting fire. That's just to get started. Now you're going and fighting the fire, you're putting it out. Now my breathing apparatus, you know, you got 30 minutes of air, so-called 30 minutes. Now your bell rings, so you got 3 minutes of air left. Now you run out of air. Now I got to go all the way back downstairs. And I'm just sitting there like, oh gosh, I'm starving. I got to get back up there. Well, my daughter had made me, she dehydrated me some cookies. So she didn't cook them, she put them in the dehydrator. And I had them under my jump seat in the fire engine. I forgot about them. Got those things, ate them, had 2 or 3 of them. Energy was back up 24 flights of stairs, all my equipment on, put the fire out, and come around. That's what food is supposed to be for. It's fuel. But it's fuel, to utilize that fuel. When we take in more fuel than the body can utilize, than the body can metabolize, than the body can burn off as energy, it's an excess. And that excess has to be stored somewhere. When somebody says about honey, agave, aspartame, well, aspartame, come on now. I don't have to say anything about that. Now, honey, now you can get raw honey, and you can get away with it. Sometimes it spikes or whatever. I like agave. It's a little lower on the glycemic scale. And I'll make a lemonade and I'll just make it just sweet enough. But a lot of times I use monk fruit. You know, it's called luo, hangguo. I think of monk fruit. You can get it at Sprouts or Whole Foods or whatever like that. But, you know, sometimes stevia, you know, has that little funny aftertaste, like a little licorice aftertaste. You know, I try to eat well and healthy, you guys, but I'm a foodie. I love to eat. You know, I still got this girlish figure. No. But no, I love to eat. The thing is, you're supposed to eat for fuel. You're supposed to eat for energy. And I know we all eat for pleasure. But think about it. We eat at funerals. We eat at weddings. We eat when our team wins. We eat when they lose. We eat when we got a break. We eat on vacation. We eat when we go out on a date. We eat when we're happy. We eat when we're sad. We eat because there's nothing else to do. We eat while we're watching a movie. We eat more when the movie is sad. We eat more when it's happy. We don't need an excuse to eat. We eat because it's time to eat. We may not really be hungry, but it's time to eat. What is that? Come on, somebody talk to me. Yeah. It's fuel, you guys. No one here will fill up their gas tank, top it off, and say, oh, I'm full. But you know what? I'm going to put some more in. Now, if you have a reserve tank, you know you can put some more in, the reserve tank. But now your reserve tank is full. And our reserve tank is the liver, because the liver can store 3 days of glycogen or 3 days of fuel. So even if you don't eat anymore, you have 3 days of fuel stored in your liver. But now that's a reserve tank. But now we want to put some more in. And now we put some more in and some more in and some more in. Now, think about it. If your liver is supposed to be here and your spleen here and you have your ascending, transverse, descending colon, all your organs in here. Now, see, this is flat. This is compact. And if your belly's out to here, where's your liver now? Where's your kidney? Where's your spleen? Where's your intestines? I'm telling you, you're cutting years off your life because this is it. This right here is an energy system. Like I said before, you can cut off both arms and legs and still be alive. We're just a big energy system, but we produce it through digestion. So we put in food, create the heat and energy, and it's supposed to come out. And if it doesn't come out, now things are backing up. And because we've been on the planet longer, they back up more and more and more and more. Now they back up into the brain, the eyes, the heart, the lungs, the liver, the kidney, the spleen, the gallbladder, and your testicular cells, your prostate cells, your ovaries, your uterus, your fallopian tubes. Waste can accumulate anywhere in the body because you have cells. And like I said, your cells are like you. They eat, they drink, they breathe, they poop, they get excited, they get pissed off, they have memory and imagination. Your cells have consciousness. Yes, your cells are creative. Your cells think and deliberates and makes decisions 24/7. But I guarantee you, the only way your cells can speak to you is through signs and symptoms. And it speaks to you 24/7. What you need to do is cultivate a relationship with your body and start to adapt and understand what it's saying to you. Now, I can tell you this. We think a headache is asking for aspirin. We think high cholesterol is asking for Lipitor or Crestor. We think cancer is asking for chemotherapy and radiation and tamoxifen. No, this is what we do. We think this is how we live. And so we think hunger means we need some sugar. I know it's a cultural thing, you guys, but this is your life. This is your one and only life this side of heaven. And you got to take care of it. If you want to be around a long time, but some people have this expectation now because of the way the culture is going that, if I can get to 70, that'll be good. I'll be glad. No, I really hear people saying that. I don't know. You tell me. It's like, why do we buy into that? Why do we give up? I mean, that's why that poem says, don't go gently into that good night. No, don't do it. You got to back out. You guys, I'm not an anomaly. I grew up eating all the crap on the planet. No, seriously. I'm not an anomaly. I probably ate worse than anybody listening to me right now. But I'm telling you, I turned it around. And I turned it around as an adult. Because I ate everything, like I told you, in college, double cheeseburger, fries, Coke, and coconut cream pie. Yes, every day. Because as opposed to what I was eating in my house on welfare, I had no problem eating that every day. I was glad. I was elated to eat it every day. Because it was food, it was fuel. I can get away with it. And I did get away with it. But getting on the fire department, when they create that demand, I'm telling you, when you create that demand on the body, like you should physically, that's why you came into the earth, to do what you need to do physically. When you work out hard and work out aggressively and work out intentionally, it builds your muscles, it builds your cardiorespiratory system. You'll see that crap that you may eat is not going to fuel you the way you need to. That's why when I was at AC Green's basketball camp for 2 summers, I was telling the kids, listen, you're going to run out probably in the second half trying to fuel yourself on Flaming Cheetos. No, you're going to run back and forth, yeah. And the other team will run back and forth with you. But if they're eating better than you, in that second half, third and fourth quarter, you guys will be dragging and they'll be going up and down like nobody's business. Because you're seeing what fuel does. And the more physically fit you are, the more efficiently your body takes on this fuel and metabolizes it. But the key is, you guys, I'm telling you, this is the key to life, longevity, and your quality of life. This key is having that fitness, that cardiorespiratory fitness and that muscle strength. It signals your body and hormones that you are fit for survival. You are literally fit for survival. Your body expects to live. It expects to be here. It expects to overcome. Your body can take on more stress than somebody else. Your body can take on any kind of bad news better than somebody else. Your body can take on when something is shocking, your body can take it on. When a pandemic comes, your body's like, so what? I don't care about viruses, bacteria, fungal forms, mold, yeast, candida, all of this stuff. If I don't have all that sticky, gluey mucus and crap in my body, that stuff will come in, go out, right on out of the body. It just flows in and flows out. Do you know you got viruses, bacteria, fungal forms, mold, yeast, candy? You got all that stuff around you right now all the time. And it's going around, it's going in and out of you. But see, the reason why they'll call it flu season, like we're coming up to, we're in December, then we'll go in January and February. It'll get colder and colder. Well, cold air will just have the tendency to go through the mucous membranes. And we leave the windows open and we get a draft, and our immune system can get depressed. Why? Because we're eating all that crap. And that crap doesn't fuel your immune cells. You got to remember, your immune cells, they eat and drink and breathe and poop and all that too. They need fuel to do their job. If they don't have enough energy to do your job, that's why your immune system is depressed. And if you think sad, depressed, anxious, and worrisome thoughts, you depress your immune system. So now you got the crap you're eating depressing it, and you got the thoughts and the way you feel and think depressing your immune system. No, we got to fight it. We got to resist it. We got to take it back. Oh gosh, I don't even know how long I've been going on. Anybody have any questions? Yeah. Give me some questions, you guys. Think about it. What we call our health challenges, it seems to always appear to come in the latter stages of life. And what is that for? And so I prefer natural. Yeah, good. Over sweetness, good. I prefer natural stuff too. Like a lot of times, people say, okay, do you eat meat? Do you eat fish? Do you eat animal protein? Do you are you a vegetarian? Are you vegan and this and that? I'm sure a lot of you know vegetarians and vegans that can't sprint up the street. I don't get it. Don't tell me about all that. I don't care what kind of diet you say you have. What can you do physically? To me, that tells on you. Your health is a demonstration of the fuel that you are consuming and your body's response to that fuel. So I get people say, oh yeah, I'm a vegan, I'm a passive vegetarian, I'm this and that, I'm plant-based, I got this or that, I eat this or that. And I look at them and go like, I am laughing, let me confess. Anybody ever seen a vegan this big or this big, a vegetarian? I remember one of the first places I spoke at was in Little Rock, Arkansas. It was this vegan restaurant and bookstore. And there were these overweight vegetarians. And they're like, we're vegetarians. How come we're overweight? And I said, you just don't eat meat and you think that's magic. You eat chips and fries and this and that and everything besides meat, eating more than your body needs, taking in more fuel than your body can handle, and you're wondering why you're a vegetarian and you're overweight. It's not magic. None of that stuff is magic. I tell people, even in my book, the book I wrote, Body Intelligence, I tell people, yes, a plant-based diet is the healthiest diet. But that doesn't mean you can't have meat. I said, if you're going to have it, have a big salad first, or put it in the salad, because the leafy green salad is alkalizing, and the meat is, yes, it is acidifying, but it takes 4 parts alkaline just to neutralize 1 part acid. So 4 parts alkaline, 1 part acid, you break even. And so that's why you want to have more alkaline. So as we go into this transition, I hope we get ready for the new year, I want you to have an alkaline breakfast. That's why you can have fruit or a smoothie in the morning with your drink, and then have an alkaline salad before your cooked lunch and dinner meal. So if you eat the salad first, which alkalizes you and displaces room in the stomach, now you eat less of the acidifying cooked food. And of course, cooked food leaves a residue in the body. You're not just adding to the body. It's just like burning wood in the fireplace repeatedly. Yes, you will end up with ashes on the walls of the chimney. Well, cooked food leaves an acid ash in the body. And what you really want is an alkaline ash, because an alkaline ash keeps everything flowing. What's the trinity of the cells? Blood flow, lymph flow, nerve flow. Again, the blood feeds the cells, the lymphatic fluid carries the waste away from the cells, and the nerves move the cells. You need all 3. Blood flow, lymph flow, and nerve flow. Any one of those gets obstructed, occluded, blocked, constipated, we can all understand that word, you got a problem. You want to move it out. And think about lymphoma, the lymphatic system, which is your immune system, when it gets all clogged up. Everybody knows that tonsils get swollen, they get the lymph nodes all piled up. All of this weighs down through the lymphatic system, reproductive organs. And we wonder what the problem is and what drug we need to take when we've been clogging up this immune system for the longest. It's just like a clogged up septic tank. And now we need to go on and remove it. What can I do to train myself to eat smaller meals? Oh, that's easy. No, really easy. You can use a saucer and put it on the plate. Here, this is the thing I tell people first. Take your plate, half of the plate, put a salad on it. And the other half, put what you want to eat on it. But eat the salad first. The salad acts like a natural gastric bypass. It displaces room in the stomach, so you eat less cooked food. But because it's leafy greens, it's alkalizing to the body. You're literally eating suspended sunlight. Plants make their fuel through photosynthesis. So the salad is water content food. So it moistens the intestinal tract. It's fiber. So it helps broom out those twists and turns and convolutions and pockets throughout the 30 feet of intestinal tract. It has a magnetic quality to draw heavy metals and toxins from all over the body into the intestinal tract. The salad calms you down. It suppresses all kinds of things. It lifts your immune system. Yeah, this is a typical salad. It does all of these things. It's the only water content food on the planet. Fruits and vegetables, that's it. Everything else is taking water out of the body. If the body's 72% water, why would we put stuff in that's going to suck the water out? Everybody knows the bowl of water, let's get some flour and pour it into the water. Let's get some rice and pour it into the water. Let's get some oats and pour it into the water. Let's just keep putting things into the water and get the sticky and gluey stuff like that. So eat the salad first. And if you want, just get a smaller plate. No, really, get a smaller plate. Put what you want. Still make that half the salad. And eat the salad first and eat it whatever else. And if you go back and have a second plate, do the same thing. This is what I advise you guys. I know we're not going to start until January 1st, but listen, challenge yourself this Christmas. I know you want to eat everything, but look, just take the plate, half of the plate. It's simple, divide it. Everybody knows how to do that, but half of the salad, half of what you want, eat the salad first and then eat it. If you go back for a second plate, it should look the same. You go back for a third plate, it should look the same. You go back for a fourth plate, it should look the same. I'm not worried about it. You can eat as much as you can. Because somebody's 6'7", 400 pounds. They may need 5 or 6 plates because they still need enough calories to meet their kinetic energy needs. In other words, I can put the highest octane fuel in the car, 98%, but 1 gallon is not going to get us to San Diego. So you still need enough calories. This one doctor put this almost 400-pound guy on a 1,500 calorie diet, and the guy died. That's not enough calories for this guy with all that mass. Think about it. Energy is equal to mass times the speed of light squared. This guy's got so much mass and he's trying to give them 1,500 calories. No, that's like giving you a handful of salad and expect you to live off of it and do your work. Or me being a firefighter and you give me 3 grapes and I'm supposed to work a 24-hour shift. Oh, let's say like the LA riots like we did, because we got 3 fires every 60 seconds. You're going to give me a handful of grapes, even though it's the best fuel, and I'm supposed to work off a handful of grapes? No. See, I'm not silly. I'm not crazy, but yes, do that. We definitely, here, let me give you this tip. Eat before you're hungry and stop before you're full. But still put that salad on first. That's real simple. It'll keep your blood sugar stable. It'll keep you not feeling like, oh, you're starving. Listen, let me just say it again. It's a principle. Eat before you're hungry, stop before you're full. One of the things I do, fruit in the morning. Why? Because fruit digests so fast, and you don't want to put it on top of a food. Like a person will eat a dinner and then have fruit afterwards. That fruit sits on top of that cooked food and just ferments. See, carbs ferment, fats and oils become rancid, and proteins putrefy. So if you mix them all together, you have putrefaction, fermentation, and rancidity. And that's why it smells the way it do. I'm serious. You're just mixing all of this stuff up. So fruit in the morning on an empty stomach. Remember, between 4 in the morning and 12 noon, your body's focused on elimination. That's why we have our biggest bowel movement, that strong dark urine in the morning, or the morning breath coming up out of the palate. We're going to have mucus in our eyes and our sinuses, new pimples coming out through your skin, discharges through your genitalia, even eruptions in the skin, anywhere in the body, because the body's trying to eliminate. The skin is actually called the third kidney. Well, because your body's eliminating, first thing in the morning, I drink water because I'm going to get that excess. Because the kidneys are so important, even more important than the bowels, believe it or not, because the kidneys get rid of more cellular waste. The bowels gets rid of more digestive waste. So you want to go on and urinate out. if you eat that big breakfast, your body has to shift its focus from elimination back to digestion. It has to. But if you have fruit in the morning, have a smoothie, something light that digests really easily, now you don't interrupt elimination, but you still get to fuel yourself. And now at lunchtime, between 12 and 8, now you take in the food. Now you have a big salad before you cook lunch and dinner. And the bigger salad it is, the fuller you get and the more healthy you'll get because you're getting more live food in. But we'll talk about that then and maybe give you guys that want to take the challenge even further in a simple way and really have really great results at the end of the month, at the end of the 30 days. But eat the big salad first and the same thing. So fruit before anything, salad before anything else. Got that? That's a rule. Fruit before anything, always on an empty stomach, and salad before anything else. Other than that, eat before you're hungry, stop before you're full. And that's it. I mean, not because it's a party, not because it's the TV's on, not because you're watching a movie, not because your team won or they lost, not because you're sad, not because it's a funeral, not because it's time to eat. Listen to your body. Again, cultivate a relationship with it. I like to drink water in the morning. Yeah, me too. Drink it in the morning. And really, you should drink it at least a half an hour before a meal. I don't buy into the whole thing that it's going to just dilute your digestive, juices so much. You know what I mean? To me, great physical activity can overcome so many other drawbacks. It really can. If you think about it, we put so much emphasis on nutrition. They don't say nutrition is like 80% and exercise is 20%. And believe me, I've been here 21 years and I actually had a practice in Eagle Rock, years prior to that. But I'm telling you guys, physical activity is so much more important because you need all that great food and don't move. Eat the best thing on the planet and don't move. And the body adapts to what you demand of it. And when you don't move, remember I said, when you signal the body, when you do that vigorous exercise and sprint, I mean, think about sprinting. You're talking about cardiovascular respiratory system. You're talking about sucking air in and stretching out your lungs. You're making your cells and tissues more efficient. It can consume this oxygen and produce more energy than ever before. And now you got the physicality to go with it. When something happens, you can get away. It signals your body and hormones that you're fit for survival. Well, think about what's the opposite end. What's the other side of the coin? When you don't move, even eating the greatest nutrition, you're signaling your body that you are not fit for survival. Not only that, you are not needed. And if the body gets the message from you that it is not needed, it will go away. What does that mean? It will go away. Yes. When bodies go away, what do? They bury them. That's what we do in our culture. Or we cremate them. It goes away. And your body gets the message that you don't care, that it's not needed. You don't love me anymore. You don't care about me. You're not giving me what I need. You take care of your car better than you take care of me. This is the body's intelligence speaking to you. This is how the body works. It's alive. This thing is alive. It's dynamic. It's animated. This thing thinks. Your body thinks and deliberates and makes decisions 24/7. It is constantly speaking to you. Don't throw off what it's saying. It's like when your children speak to you. You can, don't bother me, don't bother me, don't bother me. No, you can't do that. You know how some of your children are now once they're grown because you just didn't want to be bothered? Well, don't be bothered with your body. It'll salute you. Say, I'm out of here. I know you guys. I know. You know why I'm standing up? I'll be standing up from now on because I am more animated standing up. I want you guys to get this. I want it to really push and press your immune system because I want you to get it in. This is your one and only life this side of heaven. You got to get it in. I'm telling you, sprinting. I'm telling you, sprinting. Think about sprinting. What is your body sprint? I mean, what if you just jog, 20 yards? And you just jog. No matter 30 yards. You just jog. Come back and forth. Jog, walk back, jog, walk back. Jog, walk back. Okay, now you're going to jog a little faster. Walk back, jog a little faster. Walk back, jog. Do you know what you can be doing in 30 days? Gradually taking your time, line upon line, precept upon precept, here a little, there a little. You can make all the changes in the world that you want. The lady asked, how can she eat smaller meals? You know how you eat smaller meals? Make the meal smaller. Yeah, I could have just shot and did it like that. If your plate is normally this big, okay, next time make it this big, and then this big. And maybe 2 days of this big, and then 2 days of this big, and 2 days of this big. Your body will adapt to whatever you demand of it, specifically to what you demand of it. So it's you. Your body is your vehicle. It is not you. You tell your body what to do. You're supposed to tell your body what to seriously. You're supposed to tell your thoughts what to think, your feelings how to feel, and your body how to behave. Because you are not your thoughts, you're not your feelings, and you're not your body. But we think we are. No, you are not. Don't be body ruled. Don't let your body tell you what to do. Don't let your body get you into trouble. There are men and women in prison right now because they let their bodies tell them what to do. They let their bodies run them and get them in trouble. And now they're still in prison out of letting their body rule them. So no, and it starts with what you think. What you think determines what you feel. Your emotions literally are a byproduct of your thinking, not of your circumstances. They're a byproduct of your thinking. You say, oh gosh, no, I'm pissed off because this happened. No, you're pissed off because of what you think about what happened. Because the exact same thing can happen to you another time and you can laugh it off. The exact same thing, you can laugh it off because of the state that you're in at that particular time. So your emotions are a byproduct of your thinking. And then because of how you feel, now you behave. So tell your thoughts what to think, your feelings how to feel, and your body how to behave, particularly when it comes to nutrition and exercise. Just start there. Get your body under. Discipline your body under. If you discipline your body, and if you remember, those of you may not have heard me, I'll tell you, your body is the expressed image of the invisible mind. Your body literally is the visible barometer of what occurs mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. You think a thought and it goes into the body faster than the speed of light, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, and you react to it. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if the time is going by. I don't know what time it is. Where's the clock? Oh my gosh. Is that what time it is? Oh no, he's okay. 2 hours different. So it's 6:59. Oh my gosh, we've gone an hour, you guys. Or no, 2 hours. Oh my gosh. Is that right? This time is on Texas time. Anyway, any last questions or two? I'll do that and then say goodbye until tomorrow. And something you want me to highlight as I talk about how we're going to reset this body, I will do that and we'll talk about it. And that's what I'll do. Other than that, I'll make up my own agenda. Great Educational IG. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, King Joseph. Thank you, guys. I'm trying to see if I got a question over here. What is that? What about day sugar? Yeah, day sugar is good. Yeah, you can do that. Absolutely. Think about natural. Again, you came out of the earth, you have remained in the earth and partake of the earth. Try to take everything as close to nature as possible. That's as simple as you can get. But again, remember those principles. Fruit before anything, veggies before anything else, a salad before anything else. Eat before you're hungry, stop before you're full, and move your body more vigorously every single day. Thanks, you guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully get you some questions next time. Write your questions now for tomorrow. I'll be here, okay? Thank you. Ciao. Peace and love.